Over the years, I have developed a love for the idea of fandom, and through this channel, I hope to go on a journey to understand it just a little bit better. When talking about F1, you can't leave out the fans and how special they really are. Since I started following the sport a few years ago, there's really only one type of American fandom I can compare it to, and that is college football fandom. While F1 fandom and college football fandom may seem very different, they are more alike than people would like to admit. Formula One.
It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go!
It is a sport where emotions run high.
The championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021!
From the excitement of winning a world championship,
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion!
to the heartbreak of defeat.
No, Mikey, no, Mikey, that was so not right.
Sport is special, and in recent years, I have fallen in love with the sport known as Formula One, aka F1. And I am not the only person in the United States to do so. The popularity of F1 in the States has exploded, and looks to be continuing in an upward trajectory going into this season. ESPN viewership numbers of the sport are up 28%, with broadcasts across ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC averaging 1.21 million viewers, although the championship fight was wrapped up with weeks left in the season. On top of that, 12 races individually set an all-time American viewership record, including the first edition of the brand new Miami Grand Prix with 2.58 million average viewers. The 18 to 49-year-old demographic is up 29%, while the 12 to 17 is up 49%, along with seeing an increase in the female demographic. This coming season, we will see 3 races in the United States, and for the first time since 2015, the grid will have an American driver in Logan Sargent. The sport is growing, and it's growing fast in the United States, but it begs the question, why now? I want to answer that question, so through this 8-part series, I will be looking into why F1 is finally finding so much success in the United States, and what the future of the sport may look like. You are not going to want to miss this. First, let's talk about how college football and F1 are alike when it comes to how they are constructed and perform. College football has not seen a first-time national champion since 1996, when Florida won its first of 3 national titles over a 13-year plus period. In that same 27-year stretch, 3 F1 teams have accounted for 18 F1 World Constructor Championships, which is awarded to the most successful F1 team. Like in college football, while winning a championship is something you hope, it may not be a reality. Bowl season is a lot like the midfield in F1. Outside of the top 3 teams in F1 sit 7 other teams who have just as big of goals and dreams, even if those dreams aren't winning world championships. These teams refer to themselves as the midfield, while others refer to them as Formula 1.5 or Formula 1.5. Regardless of what you call them, to the midfield the goal is to be the best of the rest and to hopefully crack into the top 3 one day. Along with that, the FIA and NCAA are more alike than one would like to admit, and it sorta sucks. And the coaching carousel is a lot like silly season in F1. The teams with the most cash usually win in F1, like the teams who usually have the best recruits in college football. But the thing that makes these two sports so alike is the fandom side of everything. College football fans are probably some of the craziest, most passionate fans when it comes to sports in the United States. It is a fandom that is passed on from generation to generation and just means more. Jason Sauce, a member of the Vols Navy, a section of Tennessee fans that take their boats to games, told Desert News, "It's just instilled family tradition. I started coming to games with my old man when I was probably 6 or 7 years old, about 35 years ago. My father's been coming to games since he came to Knoxville, about 60 years ago. I bring my wife and my kids, and I'm passing this on to them." Fans will travel across the country to watch their team play and sometimes overseas to will on their favorite players. According to Diane Roberts, a professor at Florida State and author of the book Tribal: College Football and the Secret Heart of America, it has to do with the inherent need for belonging, and belonging something bigger than oneself. People tend to attach themselves to an organization or cause that helps them understand their identity. You feel something bigger when you are surrounded by 80,000 other fans of your favorite team. She explains, "This helps us figure out who we are. I am who I am because I'm not like those people down the road. I wear these beautiful colors and they wear those hideous colors. We're not talking at all about rationality here. People like to organize themselves into groups. One BYU fan explained, "You almost feel like you're part of a fan fraternity going to those road games. I feel like the us against the world mentality too. You are sitting in a stadium and 90,000 people are against you, and there's a small minority that is cheering for you. It increases your level of and passion. You know you've got to be loud for your team because there's not many of you." College football fans are the craziest fans out there. They went to these schools. They grew up fans of these schools. They represent a part of them, and F1 is no different. I want to share 2 case studies, and if you are a diehard college football fan, you will relate to these 2 groups. The first group of F1 fans I want to talk about are the Tifosi. The word Tifosi is believed to be derived from the ancient Greek word typhos, meaning smoke. Traditionally, spectators would light a bonfire to celebrate the victories of their favorite athletes during an ancient Olympic Games. In modern Italian, the word Tifosi literally translates to fans, for all males or mixed-gendered groups. The term Tifosi was first used to describe fans of Scuderia Ferrari in the 1930s. Large crowds of supporters would come to the races to support Enzo Ferrari, who had just begun his racing careers. The title has since been popularized to enormous proportion in the 21st century. Ferrari fans are usually described as some of the most passionate fans and come out in droves wearing their team colors of red and yellow. The Tifosi show up at venues like Monza and Imola in large numbers. Entire grandstands turn red to display a passion for the prancing horse. They yearn for a championship they can celebrate and hope for Ferrari to get back on top. Think of your Texas Longhorn fans, or even better yet, Georgia fans before they won back-to-back national titles. The Tifosi expect nothing less than a winning culture for Ferrari. The next case study I want to look at is the Orange Army. The Orange Army is a group of fans that root for 2-time drivers world champion Max Verstappen. Before Max started his F1 career, Dutch drivers hadn't found much success, with Max's father Joost being the most successful. When Max entered F1 in 2015, the fan base was re-energized, and things only got crazier when the Dutch Grand Prix returned to the calendar in 2021. The sight of vast banks of Verstappen fans and their orange smoke billowing across the track has become common in F1 as the Verstappen effect takes off. Max's fans wear orange because it is the national color of the Netherlands. The soccer team wears orange, and it is a predominant color for people to wear such in celebration like King's Day. With Max identifying as a Dutch driver, it only made sense for his fans to embrace the color orange. There are 3 races in particular that you have the most Max Verstappen fans and their orange smoke and clothes. The first is the Austrian Grand Prix, the home race for his Red Bull team at the track owned by the parent company. The other 2 are the Belgian and Dutch Grand Prix at Spa and Zandvoort. During some of these races, Max Verstappen fans fill specific grandstands, and as Max either starts the race or wins the race, the orange smoke bellows over the track. There is even an app for fans to use for mobile travel that shows all the Orange Army activity around the track, unique photos and videos about the event, an interactive map of the venue, relevant alerts prior to and during the event, and a wallet for digital storage of your tickets. When comparing this type of fandom to a college football team, think of your Ohio States or Alabamas. Both Formula 1 fans and college football fans are crazy, and I think it's why I'm drawn to both sports. Racing games are more than, well, racing games. They are spectacular in their own rights. There are chants everyone says, songs and different types of tradition followed every time. There are heated rivalries between different fan groups with true hatred towards each other and others in both sports. There is so much money and tradition involved, and everybody wants to win. The fandom side of F1 is a part of the rise of Formula 1 in the United States because it relates to our crazy fandom of college football. If you are an American who enjoys Formula 1, most of the time you also love the great sport of college football. And if you're a college football fan, make sure to check out Formula 1 because you may fall in love with it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to tune in for tomorrow's series finale, where I look into the future of Formula 1, not just in the United States, but also worldwide. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos right here, and make sure to subscribe for more quality content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.